Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Don't skip this video just yet, because there's one small detail that might seem trivial at first, but it's exactly what made many people pause and start wondering. We all know that Jungkook is not the type of person who does things by coincidence. Every post, every photo arrangement, even the smallest detail in his Instagram stories often feels like part of a much bigger pattern. And this time, that attention returns again when he uploads 3 photos at once: himself, Jimin, and Arm. At first glance, everything looks neat, aesthetic, and very carefully curated. However, what actually became the most talked about detail was not the post as a whole, but one small element: the emoji he placed on Jimin's photo. And from there, the question begins: was it just a normal emoji, or is there a deeper meaning behind it? At first glance, the smiling face with hearts emoji looks simple and sweet, as if it were just a visual touch to add warmth to the photo. However, looking deeper, there is a possibility that the choice of emoji is not as random as it seems. On platforms like Instagram, when someone types certain keywords in the emoji search bar, such as "I love you," "kiss," or "heart," similar themed emojis usually appear at the top. From this perspective, some interpret that Jungkook's emoji choice might not be random, but rather influenced by an emotional meaning he intended to express. With this viewpoint, the emoji is no longer just a decorative element, but becomes a symbol carrying a more personal message. Especially since Jungkook is known as someone very detail-oriented, particularly when it comes to digital expression. He rarely does things without consideration, and even the simplest details often contain interesting patterns worth noticing. If we take a step further, the series of posts does not stand alone. Everything feels like it is arranged in a narrative with a flow. It starts with a simple post, a selfie with the caption, "I'm hungry." At first, it sounds ordinary, just a casual joke. But after that, the next slide shows a photo of Jimin. Not food, not daily activity, but a person captured in warm lighting and a soft atmosphere that feels different from the previous post. Then comes the detail that makes many people pause: the smiling face with hearts emoji. If connected with how Instagram emoji search works, this symbol is often associated with expressions like "I love you" or other forms of affection. When all these elements are placed in sequence, "I'm hungry," then Jimin, then a loving emoji, it creates a sense of continuity in meaning that doesn't stand alone. From this perspective, hungry can be interpreted not only literally, but also as a metaphor for an emotional need that is then answered by someone's presence. Although this remains in the realm of interpretation, many feel the arrangement is too neat to be considered a coincidence, as if a small story was intentionally formed through 3 simple steps. This narrative then expands further when connected to their interactions in various moments, including concerts. During BTS's concert series in Korea before continuing the tour in Japan, Jimin and Jungkook once again drew attention through their respective Instagram posts. Jimin shared photos of his eye and of Jungkook, while Jungkook uploaded a photo of all BTS members, including Jimin. These moments seem simple, but they happened in a deeply emotional context: the final concert in Korea. That concert night itself did not feel special only because of the stage, lights, or music. Beyond that, there was a warm atmosphere filling the entire stadium, as if every corner was saturated with emotions that were hard to describe. The presence of the members' parents among the audience added another layer of meaning to the night. They were not there as the center of attention, but as quiet pillars who have supported the journey of BTS from the very beginning. Jungkook's mother was also seen that night, sitting together with the other members' parents. She was not seeking attention, just a mother watching her son stand on a stage that was once perhaps only a dream. Some fans who saw her described her as warm, gentle, and very kind. There was a calm aura surrounding her that made people feel comfortable. Even small details like her bright, round eyes reminded many of Jungkook himself. From there, people began to feel that there was a strong resemblance between them, as if Jungkook inherited that warm gaze from his mother. On the other side, the moment when the mothers of the members took photos together and captured their time side by side also became something touching. Simple, not dramatic, but deeply meaningful. A small portrait of a long journey, pride, and love finally meeting in the same night. Meanwhile, the third and final concert in Korea was a huge success. Nearly perfect. Throughout the concert, interactions between Jimin and Jungkook were still visible, even if not always dominant. There were moments of smiling at each other, occasionally holding hands, sharing light jokes, and subtly checking each other's presence on stage. If observed more closely, there was a difference in atmosphere between the first concert and the following two. The change was not extreme, but noticeable. Their interactions became calmer, more natural, and less highlighted than before. Yet within that simplicity, many people felt something even more real. They were no longer showing closeness in an exaggerated way, but still maintained a consistent pattern, looking for each other, exchanging glances, and sharing small moments that seemed understood only between them. This nonverbal communication appeared repeatedly, and when something happens consistently, it is hard to call it just coincidence. Interestingly, there were assumptions that their interactions in the first concert had decreased or changed drastically. However, those assumptions slowly faded as the next two concerts revealed a different dynamic. They actually appeared more comfortable, more relaxed, and more natural in expressing closeness without exaggeration. One of the most attention-grabbing details was how Jungkook was seen several times seemingly looking for Jimin just through his gaze. It happened subtly, but clearly enough for those paying attention to the stage details. There was no sense of it being forced. Everything felt spontaneous and natural. From the entire concert series in Korea, it is clear that their connection never truly disappeared. Only its form changed, from something perhaps more explicit in the past, to something calmer, more mature, and more subtle. But the essence remains the same. There is still a connection visible through small details. Now attention is shifting to the concerts in Japan. Many are looking forward to how their dynamics will appear there. Will there be new small moments that once again catch attention, even within the boundaries of a professional concert setting? But if we look at the previous pattern, one thing remains consistent. The way they show closeness is not through big gestures, but through small details that appear naturally, brief glances, soft smiles, or moments of quietly searching for each other on stage. In the end, it is precisely these simple things that make people continue to pay attention. Not exaggerated, not forced, but enough to leave a lasting impression. From Instagram to the concert stage, from a small emoji to a brief glance in the middle of a crowd, everything feels like part of a slowly unfolding narrative. And as long as this journey continues, there is always room for more small moments ahead. Because what is most interesting is not something big and flashy, but the subtle details that make everything feel alive, warm, and meaningful for those who notice them. In the end, all of these details may seem simple when separated. But when put together, from Instagram stories, emoji choices, to moments on stage, they form a pattern worth noticing. Is it just coincidence, or is there a subtle message being conveyed? In the end, the interpretation is up to each of us. If you have your own thoughts about this moment, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Jikook Moments for more updates and detailed discussions. See you in the next video.